If you're tired of the crippling anxiety, anger, fear of the unknown, and frustration with fools, I think Stoicism can help you. Everyone has a philosophy, whether they know it or not, and this old Greek to Roman philosophy has become relevant again in the age of distraction and overstimulation. Now, there are a lot of takes on Stoicism out there. Some are good and harmless, and others are really destructive. I'm going to share what I learned from these thinkers, Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus, and show you how their ideas were taught to us all at the earliest age through Star Wars.
Control, you must bring control.
I'll narrow down Stoic philosophy to 3 core ideas and explain the Star Wars connection. I hope you take away that Star Wars is a fantastic introduction to philosophy that can be applied to your everyday life. We do this because this is Geeky Stoics. Number 1, nature is good and nature is change.
I don't want things to change.
But you can't stop the change, any more than you can stop the suns from setting.
Our bodies change, death, and decay. These are facts of life. Today, when people think of Stoicism, they primarily think of a philosophy that is about control and focusing your energy where you can make the most impact. That's true, and we'll come back to that, but I think the beating heart of Stoicism is its stubborn commitment to reality and being at peace with the way that the world is. Marcus Aurelius in Meditations says, "I walk through what is natural until the time comes to sink down and rest." It's one of at least 24 mentions in his diary about embracing nature, and what is more natural to life than change and death? I hope I'm not the only one who was paying attention to this when I was 12 or 13 watching Star Wars The Phantom Menace for the first time. We all knew Anakin was going to become Darth Vader, and the last thing that his mother says to him before sending him away from home is this very truth. You can't stop the change. If you want to try and stop the sun from setting, be my guest, but you'll probably go insane or die trying. And that is Star Wars summarized. Again, from Marcus Aurelius, frightened of change, what can exist without it? What is closer to nature's heart? The sooner that you embrace the fact that the world is in constant flux, the sooner you can work on letting go.
Of everything you fear to lose.
Which brings me to the topic of death. By the way, I just posted a video essay on death and dealing with grief after the loss of someone dear to me, and if you're going through something similar, you can hop over to that video as an additional resource. Number 2, death is part of life. That's the ultimate change, dust to dust. People we love leave our lives and leave us behind, but what would they want for you? To break down and never leave home again? No. And that is the hardest thing that we'll ever face. And as we age, it's only going to happen more and more frequently. Human life is momentary. Our bodies are dying from the moment we are born. Marcus wrote in his journal, "Above all, accept death with cheerful spirit, as nothing but the dissolution of the elements of each living thing composed." Sound familiar?
Death is a natural part of life. Rejoice for those around you who transform into the Force. Mourn them, do not. Miss them, do not.
For my fellow Christians, remember Ecclesiastes 12:7. You will turn back into the dust of the earth again, but your spirit will return to God who gave it. Our bodies are only part of what we are. The fear of loss is the heart of most Greek tragedies and the saddest stories of all time. Characters make deals with the devils to try to save a loved one. They travel to hell and back again for romance, only to be let down in the end. And the message is always the same. Don't do this. If you can accept life as fleeting, you unlock a superpower to live it to the fullest every day. You won't miss a moment doing the things you love with the people who matter most in this mindset. If life was infinite, if no one ever left us, things would matter a whole lot less. Number 3, the best vacations are free. How many times have you burnt out on work and splurged on a vacation to try and recharge your mental battery? I've done this a few times. One of my favorite passages in Meditations is where Marcus talks about this very thing. He says people try to get away from it all, to the country, to the beach, to the mountains. You wish you could too, but you can get away anytime you like by going within. Just because you shell out $4,000 to hit the beach in Thailand doesn't mean your problems aren't going to follow you there. If you don't know how to manage stress, connectivity, anger, and fear, those things will still be there with you underneath the beach umbrella. He's arguing for meditation, mindfulness, and acceptance of things beyond you. And if you can do that, you can recharge anywhere. My favorite Jedi is Qui-Gon Jinn, and he lives this out in the final moments of Episode 1 Dueling Darth Maul. He and Maul are separated by an energy field, and with a little less than a minute to spare, Qui-Gon retreats within. Whereas Sith are fueled by anger and aggression, the Jedi achieves tranquility in a flow state by quieting their mind, and then they let the Force take the wheel. Marcus continues in Book 4, Chapter 1 of Meditations, by going within, nowhere you can go is more peaceful. Even a quick visit should be enough to ward off trouble and send you back ready to face what awaits you. And Qui-Gon springs back into battle, ready to face what awaits him, Darth Maul. He doesn't win, but it might have been his best chance. Either way, at least Qui-Gon got to experience stillness and quiet before the end instead of panic and fear. For anybody, that can be as simple as meditation time. It can be as simple as taking a walk during a busy day. It can also be prayer, and that's something that you should always consider coming back to. We need to be able to calm ourselves for the good of ourselves and our loved ones. And that's your primer on Meditations and Star Wars. Thanks for watching Geeky Stoics. I'm Steven, and this channel is all about finding philosophy and pop culture that can help you in your everyday life. Go to geekystoics.com and join our community and free newsletter. And of course, subscribe to the channel for more Stoicism, Star Wars, Dragon Ball Z, Lord of the Rings, and much more.